If you've ever heard of someone being sent up the river, they met here, Sing Sing Prison, just over 30 miles north of New York City. It's one of the oldest prisons in America. But we went there because they're trying something new. We were invited, along with a group of visitors, to go inside to meet the men of Voices from Within. It's a peer support group started by incarcerated men.
Hi, my name is Shane.
My name is Alonzo, but everyone calls me Tiny.
Hello, my name is Mike.
They're trying to change the culture in prison by talking about the mistakes they've made that led them here and trying to keep young people from heading down the same path. The program started more than a decade ago with a group led by JJ Velazquez.
We wanted to redefine what it means to pay a debt to society. Just sitting in a cage doesn't pay a debt. You have to actively do something to pay your debt. It starts with, how do you change yourself?
At that time, Velazquez had been serving a sentence for a murder he insists he didn't commit. And Dateline producer Dan Slepian had been reporting on his case. Slepian helped create Voices from Within and worked with them to make a video about gun violence.
There is nothing you can do to make it right.
The video has been shown to at-risk youth across New York State and beyond. Voices from Within took off from there and succeeded with the support of then prison superintendent Michael Capra. Sing Sing, like most prisons, has problems with violence. Attacks between the incarcerated do happen. And a recent lawsuit claiming abuse by security teams sent by the State Department of Corrections led to a federal investigation. Capra is not a defendant in that suit. In this environment, a partnership between Capra and the men of Voices from Within took root.
That a lot of people who hear this and see this are going to say, you're just supposed to be keeping them locked up and keeping them away from society. That's your job. All this other stuff is a bit much.
Yeah, we're going to change that narrative.
Why?
Because we need to. I think we had the responsibility of making sure that when people leave here, they have the skill set that they need, they have turned into a man, and it's our responsibility that they don't victimize anybody else anymore.
Prison's not places typically associated with vulnerability or redemption. How did you get other incarcerated people to buy into it?
What I've learned is that there's a lot of good people in prison who made bad choices. If you're 16 years old and you did a robbery and you ended up with 20 years for that robbery, that individual is now 36 years old. There's a natural human process called maturity. These people want to change. All they need is the opportunity and somebody to believe in them.
We wanted to see this change firsthand. During our visit, we broke into small groups. The men in my group were honest about why they were in prison.
While I was in prison, they indicted me for homicide.
When I was 17 years old, I had a fight with a man, and he died because of the fight. At this time here was another fight, and I ended up stabbing somebody.
They say they are full of regret and remorse, but eager to show how their worst mistakes won't define them.
Me, I came in with low self-esteem, and I allowed the negative self-image to permeate my very soul.
It was all just selfish. That's it. There's no reason behind it. I'm releasing that selfishness. I want to be selfless now.
It's so weird, like you're in prison and you can really be your authentic self and you can show up in really amazing ways, like the reflection I see in all of you guys.
Our life didn't end the day we were sentenced. That wasn't the end of us as human, as men. We have so much more that we can share with everyone, just given that chance.
What's remarkable is that one of the men giving them that chance is JJ, who was granted clemency in 2021. He was released, but vowed to keep coming back.
You spend more than 20 years in prison.
Yes.
And now you come back every 2 weeks. How is that not triggering or traumatizing?
When I was in prison, there were people who gave me hope and support, and that's how I survived. There's something inherent inside of me that just won't allow me to leave these people behind.
So to critics of the program, JJ points out that 95% of the men in Sing Sing will be released at some point. So he asks, what kind of men do we want them to be when they return to society? And by the way, guys, when we were there, it was announced that Voices from Within is actually going to be expanded to every prison throughout New York State. We should also mention you can learn a little bit more about JJ's case on the NBC News podcast, Letters from Sing Sing, and you can find that wherever you get your podcast. And another tidbit, the former warden there at the prison, soon to retire, strongly considering going to work with JJ to expand this program.
Wow.
So,
how much time did JJ do? 20?
20 years.
The fact that he goes back every 2 weeks is a lot.
Right.
He's a special kind of guy, to say the least.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Craig.
Craig, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.